Hi, everyone. Today, I would like to talk about how reading more or watching more videos or going to more retreats or more courses or whatever you want to do more of, that it can hold you back if your goal is to recognize your true nature. The mind is a very tricky thing, and we are talking about it like over and over and over again. How the mind is not who we are. The mind is a program, and the program is programmed from when we were young, and even until today, everything that you do is on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. So the results that you have is because whatever is in your head, that is what's projected. So let's now talk about the whole self-help or self-development world. First of all, it's a necessary thing. So I'm very excited that it exists, because when I started reading books 40 years ago, then first of all, there wasn't so much. There was, of course, a lot, but everybody was looking at it like, whoa, that's woo-woo. Like nobody really wanted to deal with that. And there was a whole esoteric section that was very complicated and difficult to understand. And every time I bought a book that was a little bit above my pay grade, I would just start and I would put it away. But now the whole knowledge and all the gurus have their books and their courses, and it's like we're overloaded with information. And on the one hand, that's a great thing, because you will not get far if you don't have the information, if you don't know what's going on. But it can also be a trap, because if the only thing you do is getting more knowledge, getting more intellectual ideas, then the only thing you're doing is feeding the ego. Give the ego more reasons so that you can beat yourself up more. So every time you see somebody or you read a book or whatever, then you can think, oh my God, they are doing so well. And I am reading books for so many years and I'm still not there. What am I doing wrong? So that is a trick from the ego to keep you in the comfortable, I am a nothing, I'm a failure, I am not worth to recognize my true nature. They can do it, but I cannot. And this is the proof because I'm so far away. You see how that can be like a trap? Because as we already discussed in another video, you are your true nature now. You don't need more books. You don't need more knowledge. You don't need anything outside of you to know who you really are, to recognize your true nature. And again, I'm not saying not to read anything or not to watch anything. You're watching me. But what I would recommend is that you also make it practical, that you integrate it in your daily life, that you integrate whatever you read. You have to like internalize it. Like meditation is wonderful, but I know a lot of people that use meditation like you use a painkiller. They don't go to the real source of what's going on. Or I know people that are getting that making that whole rigid routine, getting up at 5 in the morning, going to the gym for an hour, then do a cold plunge, then journal, then do Pilates, whatever. Like they have this check, 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 check. That can be a trap because it takes you away from what you really should be focusing on, which means there's nothing to do. As long as you believe that you still have stuff to do before you're gonna be there, that's exactly what you're gonna get. Your mind loves that idea. Your mind is trying to make you believe that you need something outside of you in order to be happy and blissful and knowing who you really are, and no more stress, no more anxiety. That doesn't mean that life doesn't go on and that there is nothing that is going to people have sometimes, the people that I talk to, I don't know everybody, people that I talk to, they have sometimes this misinformed, I think, idea of the minute that you recognize your true nature, that everything's going to be, that there's nothing going to happen in your life anymore. I'm here to tell you, it's, I almost think it's the other way around, because now you can handle way more because you're looking at it with curiosity, and you're looking at it from, you are not your problems. You are not your anxiety. You are not your depression. You are not your money issues. You are not your health issues. You are not your relationship problems. You are not. You are perfectly divine, whole. That's it. That's who you are. But there will be challenges, but you are not going to be all like frustrated, or, and I'm not saying that I'm never frustrated. I'm frustrated, but then after a couple of seconds, when I do the work, I practice what I preach, because I really do, because otherwise my mind would never allow me to say things that I didn't do myself. That's how my mind is fooling me. Like, are you sure that, let's try it again. And then when you're sure, you can talk about it. So there are many, many things that keep you away from recognizing your true nature, which usually is when you start doing, or when you think you have to do, or you have to get somewhere in order to have self-realization. You can realize who you are. You can realize your true nature in this moment. Let's point to it, okay? So let's first take a deep breath in and out. And now we're just gonna keep breathing very normal, and try to just breathe into your nose and breathe out through your nose. And if you can count, you can breathe in 4 counts, hold it for 2, and then breathe out for 6. And your body is going to get the message that it is at peace, and it will let go of this mind that is going on, okay? So now focus your attention on your breath. You don't have to do anything. Your breath is just, you breathe in and you breathe out. If you would want to try to breathe in and keep your breath forever, it's not going to work. At one point, you're just going to have to breathe out. And if you breathe out, there will come a moment that you will have to breathe in. And who's doing that? Who's doing the breathing? Where is that breath coming from? I asked myself those questions. The breath is effortless. We are breathing and we think we're not thinking about it, because we're just breathing in and out. The same way that our heart is pumping blood around our whole system, and then goes to the lungs, and everything is effortless. Nobody, when you get up in the morning, you don't press a button. Who is doing this? Who is doing this? Nobody that is reading a self-help book. Nobody that is doing cold plunging. Whatever is going on, it goes effortless. Your breathing is effortless. So now just look outside if you can, and look at nature around you. Look at the trees. Who's making the trees grow? How do the trees know that they have to grow? It just happens. effortless. You don't have to pull at the leaves. You don't have to take the leaves away in fall. You have to blow the leaves, but they will come down effortless because there is this force in the universe. There is this energy. There is this divine presence that is taking care of everything. And that is who you really are. You are that presence. The presence that makes you breathe in and breathe out. The presence that looks after nature. The presence that is unfolding everything in front of your nose. And then when you just stare in the nothingness, you will feel that your thoughts are going to disappear. And that's something you should practice. When you really want to realize your true nature, that's where it is, in the silence. In the silence and the understanding of the idea that it is here now. There's nothing to do. Everything is going, when you sit here, everything around you is just unfolding, effortless. And you can try to pull the leaves, or you can try to pull the grass, but it is not working. Everything has its time. Everything is unfolding effortless. Your stress is unfolding effortless. It's there if you allow it there. But there is no need to. You can just drop it. It doesn't add value. It doesn't add value. Thought about that. Even though I can tell your mind is now saying, what is she talking about? And who's listening to those thoughts? You are. Your effortless being is listening to the reaction on the slowing down and the just breathing and the staring and understanding that there's nothing out there. There's nothing to do. You are it. So I would recommend that you take a couple of minutes, a couple of times a day, to really focus on your breath and to ask yourself these questions. Who's breathing? Who is looking outside? What's going on inside of me? Is it triggering any emotions? What's going on? And then at one point, I promise you, you will see it. You will see it. You will experience it. Yes, you will. So reading a book, watching more videos on how to, there's a difference between reading about how the world unfolds and really being inspired, or reading the 6 steps to enlightenment or the 5 steps to self-realization. There are steps for sure. But if you are listening to me, I am almost certain that you know all the how-tos. Now you just have to be. That's the last step. Just be. Be and breathe. And feel and just allow it to unfold. Have a wonderful day, you guys. I see you next time. Bye for now.